Good morning to all. Almighty to God my first. Now I am going to teach about that scripting languages. So everyone knows that scripting language is mainly used to connect your machine language to your system programming language, and it is having for two types of scripting language. One is for server side scripting language and second one is for client side scripting language. The client side scripting language means this is for example, sample example is called as an is a JavaScript, and then server side scripting language is called as an Asp.NET. The server side scripting language is mainly used to high resources to the server, and second one is for complete all processing in the server and send plain pages to the client. So client side will be new to the web browser to able to receive the result for that one, and request will be submitted to the client side computing for that one. The client side scripting language means it does not involve for the server processing, but it is completely application is downloaded to client side browser itself. So everything will be connected with this web browsers only, and the client browser executes is totally for the client side part only, and it is having for a graphical displays, and everything will be based on your scripting format will be based for web browsers only. And this web browser is having for Mozilla Firefox, or you are having for your Chrome, and everything we have to use for that one. All the browsers will be support for the scripting language part. First part is for, we are going to see about that ASP, that is for active server page. ASP, active server page. It is a server side scripting language. It is developed by Microsoft product, and it is for good at connecting to the Microsoft database also, and it is run only on Microsoft servers. It's only on Microsoft servers. And second one example is for Perl. This Perl is nothing but everyone knows that it is a scripting language. It is for Unix based operating system language, and it is for all Windows and Unix servers also, or Linux servers. It can handle only text manipulation tasks. It is excellent for the web scripting languages. And third one is called as an PHP. Everyone knows that this is for hypertext pre-processing language. Hypertext pre-processing language. It is a only base, very well known, and it's a well good server side scripting language. It is especially for good connecting to MySQL database. It is very popular language. It runs on Unix and Windows operating system also. It can have for its HTML embedded scripting language. HTML embedded scripting language. The syntax looks like for C, Java, and then Perl part. So this C, Java, Perl part is very basic for developing for your PHP scripting language code, and it can generate for dynamic content and good for the user interface, and it is for server side execution part. And JSP, and this is called as a Java server page. It's fully based for your Java code itself, and it is fully developed by Sun Microsoft product, and uses only for Java. It provides server specific framework like for a Microsoft. And then next one is for CGI, and CGI is nothing but the common gateway interface. It is a server side solution part. It needs to launch separate instance of application for each web request, and it allows direct interaction with users. It allows direct interaction with the user parts only. And next part is called as an ASP.NET part. The ASP.NET is for server side technology to create faster, reliable, and dynamic web pages, and it supports for .NET frameworks like C#, VB.NET, and JavaScript.NET. Everything will be supported in that ASP.NET. It provides flexibility to design and developed by the Microsoft product only. And the next one is for Vbscript, and it is for Microsoft scripting language, and the main part is for, it is a client side scripting language, and it is very easy to learn. It includes for the functionality of Visual Basic, and JavaScript is also for the client side scripting language, and it is easy to use programming language. It enhances for the dynamic and interact features to the web pages. It allows to perform calculation, write interactions, and then manipulation for that one, and then verification for your email, and everything also done with the help of this JavaScript also. And this, now we are going to see about that JavaScript in the elaborate form. JavaScript is designed to add interactively to the HTML pages. Interactively to the HTML pages, that means you are going to convert it for the static page to dynamic page, and it consists of lines of interpretable computer code, and it gives for the HTML designers as a programming tool, and usually embedded directly into HTML pages. It allows to put dynamic text into a HTML page. And Java and JavaScript are two completely different languages in both concept and design, because JavaScript is a very easy language compared to that Java code, and there is no for the compilation and there is no for your interpreter for that one. JavaScript's official name is called as an ECMA script. Next one, that JavaScript is for use in millions of web pages in that JavaScript for the web design pages. It is used to improve the design, to validate for the forms, and then detect browsers, then create cookies. So these are the four main parts used for creating web pages using for the JavaScript. And it can react to events and can be used to validate data and to create cookies. And then it is the most popular scripting languages for all major browsers, like example Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, the Netscape, Opera, and everything we have to use for that one. For the simple example for JavaScript, how this JavaScript code will be embedded with to HTML code. So this two tag is called as an HTML tag, and then this is for a body tag, and this tag is for where the JavaScript tag will be start with that, and this tag is for where the script tag will be end with that. And this is for the statement or command which is going to display the output into the web page itself. And this is for the closing of the HTML tag. So this is for simple example for how a JavaScript code will be embedded into HTML code. So the output will be displayed in that web page is for hello world will be displayed. So this is for embedded into the HTML code, and this is for the code which will be written into the in between the script tag itself. Suppose if we want to write into the separate tag, means we have to save it into simple, for example, hello.js. So this is for example for saving the JavaScript code with this separate file. This can be connected with your HTML tag, means we have to replace for these two tags with that /script src is equal to within that hello.js, then we have to close for this, and this is for /script. So this is for the code which is embedded within the expressed or expanded into the HTML tag, and this is for we have to write it into the expanded JavaScript code into separate file which is saved into hello.js, and we have it mentioned that script src, this means source is equal to hello.js, then closing for a scripting tag. Okay, so this is for simple example. Now we are coming to the statements and comments for the JavaScript, means we have to write it into that statement, means we have to write it into document.write, or you have to tell that what is the statement you are going to given that into your HTML page and everything we have that. Suppose you are going to write for the comment line, means we have to start with that and then we have to end with that comment line will be there. So next part is for how we are going to write with that JavaScript variables. JavaScript variables means this is a simple language, so no need to bother about that. So many number of variable data type we have to mention. Only thing we have to write it for that where keyword. So this where keyword is to denote that we have to give for the name of the variable that is denoted as a variable. So we have to assign for that example x is equal to 15, means this x is called as a variable and this 15 is for value. So we have to mention for that where x is equal to 15, where x is equal to 15, as well as for this variable specifications for same as for that one. For example, this is called as a case sensitive language, and then the name should be for start with that variable for letters, alphabets. There is no specification for the first start letter should not be for the underscore symbol or any other special characters. Only we have to start with that alphabet, that is for your variable specification. And then JavaScript operators is having for more than 5 is for main thing. Number 1 is for arithmetic operators. arithmetic operators, then assignment operators, then conditional operators, then comparison operator, then last one is for logical operator. So everyone knows that these are the same operators will be used for the Java language. We have to use for the operators into the JavaScript operators also. And it can be performed for the addition, subtraction, multiplication and everything. And this is for an assignment operator equal to plus, and then conditional means we have to use for the if condition, operators means question mark and then colon will be used for that. Then comparison, we have to check with that for each one variable values will be compared to that other one variable's value. Then logical, we have to mention for here true or false conditions will be there. Then logical JavaScript conditional statements. So already you know that if, then else if. So these are the if conditions will be used for that one, and also for the switch statement is also it can be used for the conditional statements. Then JavaScript looping we have to use for the for loop, then while loop, then do while loop. And the for that for loop means we have to use for the syntax format is for in format we have to mention for that. And then you have to suppose you have to come out from that means we have to use for the statement break, and continue for the statement means we have to use for the continue statements. So these are the statements we have to mainly use for that in JavaScript operators, JavaScript conditional statements. And then next we have to come up to the JavaScript functions. So everyone knows that function is nothing but that sum of the specified task. The task should be repeated more than one means we have to write it into the single code, and that code will be used for a specified name, and that name will be used for other thing for that. So it can be called with that function name and can be executed by an event, and we have a parameters and then return statement. This is for the function JavaScripts we have used for that. And events means we can perform for more than one task for the action can be used for that one. In JavaScript we have to use for that on mouse over event. This is for example on mouse over. So once you have to drag for the mouse means automatically the conditions or the actions will be varied for that, or particular task will be made for that. For example, we have to use for that input type is equal to text, and then size is equal to 30. Then give the name is called as an email. That means ID is equal to email, and then we have to put for this on change is equal to check email. So this is for the simple code for we are going to use for the on mouse over. This is for input types equal to text, and then size equal to 30. Then ID is equal to email, on change is equal to check email. So this is called as a function name. This function should be defined or described into the JavaScript body tag, and this is called as an on change. So whenever I am going to drag for the mouse for the particular text box or particular text box we have to write for something, automatically the change function will be moreover event will be taking care for the check email function, and this ID is used for email. So this email ID is nothing but that wherever the text box will be specified. For example, this tag will be used for text box is equal to, this is a text box, I am going to write for abc@gmail.com. abc@gmail.com. So this text box ID is called as an email, and the size is for 30, and the type is for text box. So this is for the simple example. So once I have to type it into the inside the box means the change will be taking care for this check email account for function. So many number of types of events may be varied for that one. One is for on focus, on blur, on select, on mouse over, on mouse out, on click, on load, on sum. We have to use for that one. That is for JavaScript events. Then next one is for JavaScript pop-up box. So everybody's heard the word, that is for alert box. So this means Once you have to type something means, suppose you are getting for any error means, automatically alert box will be given to the information to the user. That is what this was happen for once your click button. Then this was happen for after submitting your things. So this is for giving the instruction to the user. So that is for your alert box, and this alert box is mainly used to give the sure information to the user. And the next one is for confirm box, and this box is mainly used to verify or accept the information. And then next one is for prompt box. This is for mainly used to give the input to the user before entering a page. Before entering a page, the user is going to give the information. That is for a prompt box. So these are the three types of boxes are available in the JavaScript pop-up box. Next is for JavaScript, how will be connected with that OOPS operation. That is for object-oriented programming language part. So it contains for the built-in JavaScript objects are available in the JavaScript. Number one is for string, date, array, boolean, math, then regular expression, window, navigator options are available into the JavaScript OOPS operations. It allows mainly to use it to define for the new objects, because it is already defined into the objects class in the format. So this is for the JavaScript OOPS related to that one. And the next one is for how the JavaScripts will be connected with the DOM. That is for dynamic object part, and this is for dynamic object model. So already we have heard the word, that is for OOP, that is for object oriented programming. Now we are connected with this dynamic object model. So this OOP means everyone knows that in Java means we are going to define the class, define and methods and everything. But JavaScript is no need to bother about for the defining part, because everything was available in your JavaScript web browser for that. So simply we have to call for the method or redefine for a new object for that one. So dynamic object model means it is many browser implement an interface to what it is called the document object model. This document object model means it allows to the output of the document, it changed from the browser for that. That is, you are going to display the content into the web pages. That web page informations will be directed with the help of this dynamic object model for that one. It is a representation of the document in an object form. It is accessible from a JavaScript programs. So this, what are the document objects is available for that means, one is for document objects, that is for DOM objects means document. It should be represents the entire HTML document and can be used to access all elements in your pages. That means how we are going to use for that means document dot write, then within the double quotes we have to mention for that. So this is a format for that one. So document dot write means this method is used to write a content. BR is for HTML tag. So this HTML tag will be connected with this document object. So anchor will be represents for an element for that. A. That means anchor code will be that. Then anchor, area, base. These are the example frame for that objects for HTML DOM objects. Then DOM objects will be used for images also possible. That means what is the size of the image, what is the width of the image, what is the height of the image, then what is the input will be reset for the images, we can be used for that. Then how we are going to connect with this HTML page will be converted into dynamic page. So in what way the JavaScript will be used to dynamic for a HTML page. So JavaScript dynamic page means can be used to directly change the DOM model and to change the document. So we have to first change the dynamic object model that will reflect to the JavaScript objects document. So model can be used to manage for the XML content also. Document can be used to manage the XML content. What do you mean by this? XML means everyone knows that that is for extensible markup language. So HTML code will be connected to the DOM object model and this connected to the XML content. The XML content means we are going to define for your new format of your HTML format. So in the runtime of a execution of your JavaScript code, the user can view for the dynamic format for your web pages. So it can be used for XML HTTP request object to request the data from the server without loading the whole page again. So simply we have to use for a HTTP request object. No need to connect for your whole page request for the server part. Simply we have to get it from your cookie part for your connection for your JavaScript, then load for the new format. Then after giving your information, then reload for the particular page for that. So using this technology in the combination of DOM and the basic HTML CSS is sometimes called as an Ajax. So JavaScript is a very good one for compared to that other scripting languages. Now we start with what? ASP.NET, that is for server side scripting language. So before that we have seen that what is JavaScript, that is for client side scripting language. Now we are going to see about that ASP.NET. This is for server side scripting language. So it is the latest version of Microsoft Active Server Pages technology. It is a part of Microsoft .NET framework, and it is a powerful tool for web development. It is a program that runs inside the IaaS, that means Internet Information Services, IaaS. This is a main source which can be used to execute for the ASP.NET. It can contain for HTML file and then XML file, and also for the other scripts also acceptable in the IaaS format for the ASP.NET. And this extension of your file part is for .aspx. This is for ASP.NET. That JavaScript means we have to mention for .js. In ASP means we have mentioned for ASPX. So how this ASP.NET works for that? So this is for the engine works for your ASP.NET format. So the browser will give the information or will give the request to the HTML file. The server will returns the file for that. So the request may be coming from your user request or either it coming from your HTML file request. The web server will be received for that one, that is for browser request ASP.NET file, and this file, the IaaS passes the request to the ASP.NET engine. So this is for ASPX engine. So this engine on the server which is available in the server part. So the server give the engine reads the information or reads the file which is line by line, and executes the ASP scripts file, and this ASP scripts file will be transferred to the browser part, and the browser will be giving for that information. That information will be giving to the compilation part, and the compilation was over means automatically it will generate the class file, that means page class file, because this class file will be reflect to the output for the browser. So it will generate the page class file, and suppose it requires for other required classes means will be coming to the compilation part. Before for that will be transferred to the generation part, and will be transferred to the process for the re-render part, and the transformation will be transferred to the web server part, and the server will be give the response part. So this is for the ASP.NET work engines. So the response will be reflected to the web pages. So this is for the ASP framework working or engine for the .NET. Next is for how this ASP.NET server controls that. The server controls are tags that are understood by the server. So that are available in the web server part only. The ASP.NET has solved the code problem of classic ASP with server controls. Class with ASP with the server controls. There are three kinds of server control. Number one is for HTML server control. Number two is for web server control. Third one is for validation server control. The first one, HTML server control, is a very standard one, that is for traditional HTML page. And second one is for web server control. This is for which is generated by the ASP engine. So the new ASP.NET tags will be there. So that will be controlled with the help of this web server control. And the third one is for validation server control. That is for whatever the input we are giving to the request, that is for the input validation part. So this is for three types of server control will be there. So this is for ASP.NET we are using, that is for server-side scripting language. And what are the features available for the ASP.NET as compared to the other scripting languages? The ASP.NET is for, first one is for event handler, and second one is for it can have a separate web forms, and third one is for the data can be easily binded with that. Then fourth one is for ADO.NET. That is for part of the .NET framework. The ADO means ADO.NET is used to handle for the data access and also can be work with the databases also. So can be used to easily connect with that files as well as for the databases. That is a main advantage. And then it is a master pages, and then it is also have the separate themes also available, and it is handled for the standard controls for the navigation part, and it is having for the standard controls for the security as compared to the other scripting languages, and it is coming for the roles, responsibilities, personalizations and internationalizations of the services are also available, and it is for the improved and simplified data access controls, and then its full support for the XML standard format. So in previously we are having for us JavaScript is very little bit tedious to compare connected with this XML content, but it is very easy to connected with this XML to the ASP further. So it will be having for XML as well as for the WSDL language, Web Service Data Link Languages is also connected with that one. So this is for the additional advantages compared to the JavaScript, and it is for improved compilation and deployment, and it is for a site management, and new improved and development tools is also available. So as conclude for that, scripting languages for mainly used to create for web development, and for that it is very easier, faster and best utilization of resources, and then easy to develop for the web pages. Within a minute we have to compare created for the web pages. Then it is a programmer's choice which one will suit for the best consideration for the knowledge, practice and resources we can be used for that one.